There are 2 MPs who died as a result of serving in World War I, but only one of them is currently commemorated with a statue inside Parliament. That may be because Samuel Sharpe didn't die in combat. He died by suicide at a Montreal hospital where he was suffering from PTSD. In 2015, MPs unveiled a bronze plaque to honor him, but it was only today, one day before the 100th anniversary of Sharpe's death, that MPs voted to hang the plaque outside of the House of Commons. Conservative MP and former Veterans Affairs Minister Erin O'Toole has made it his mission to have Sharpe's service recognized. I spoke to him today on Parliament Hill, along with Jennifer O'Connell, the Liberal MP who represents Sharpe's former Ontario riding. Hi to both of you. Thank you very much for doing this. So tell me, I'll start with you, Mr. O'Toole. Where would you like to see this plaque?
Well, after the First World War, this building had burnt down during the war, and when it was rebuilt in 1920, they commissioned the statue of George Baker, one of the MPs who died at the Battle of Sanctuary Wood. But the other MP who died as a result of active service was kind of missed because of attitudes of mental health, because of the reconstruction of the building that had burned down. And so we'd like to see Sam Sharpe, that second member of Parliament, hang beside George Baker right here on
you want the plaque on that part of the wall there, right?
Well, the plaque was sized for this spot, so it's not a full statue,
right,
but it brings together the 2 names that are in the Book of Remembrance in the Memorial Chamber, but only one person was kind of remembered outside the Commons, and even though Sam Sharpe had served longer than George Baker,
right,
was re-elected while he was fighting at Passchendaele, he was kind of missed, and we corrected that today.
And Mr. O'Toole kind of mentioned it, but a lot of the reason that happened is because of the attitudes around mental health.
Absolutely. The stigma around mental health, frankly, still exists today, and this is exactly what we're trying to work towards, removing and having these difficult conversations. And I think honoring Sam Sharpe almost 100 years to his passing really symbolizes how far or how long it's taken to get to this point, and we still have a lot more work to do.
Now, normally when I'm interviewing a member of the government and a member of the opposition, it's a little more combative than it is right now. So tell me about, Mr. O'Toole wanted you to be present for this interview as well. Tell me a bit about the bipartisan nature of this.
Well, as I said today, I thanked a number of MPs that were passionate about making sure Sam Sharpe was installed here. Jennifer was part of that, and Minister O'Regan was part of that, a number of Conservatives. In fact, the project was originally launched when Andrew Scheer was Speaker. He's now my leader. So it was nonpartisan, and it was a really nice moment that showed Canadians that, look, we may scrap and fight at question period, and we'll do that shortly, but some things, especially the service of our first responders and veterans, is beyond partisanship.
Yeah, and what do you think?
I mean, I think it is no small feat to get unanimous consent and cross-party support, but as Erin said, this is an important figure in our history. It is something locally in Uxbridge, whom we both served. I serve Uxbridge now, and it used to be part of Erin's riding. That this is someone that really was forgotten, that we really needed all Canadians to know his story. And once you have that conversation with parliamentarians, I think, that sentiment is far more important than the partisanship that we sometimes see in this place. And so it was really important, but there's a lot of hard work, I think, from all of us to kind of negotiate and work this through to make sure that he was honored in the right way.
Did it feel good when you saw that this morning? You saw the unanimous consent?
It was very meaningful. A lot of MPs were there. We came together. People were watching. Veterans were watching on Facebook, on CPAC. I think Canada needs to see those moments from time to time. I joke we can be the sheepdog and the coyote. We can fight in there, but also at the end of the day, we can work on important things together. And today we did that.
Why did you pick up on this? Like, what's your motivation? I know you're a veteran, of course, not any Canadians know, but was there something about the idea that because of the way he died?
Well, I knew about Sam Sharpe before I was elected, and then I had the honor of representing Uxbridge for a time, but I didn't know how he died. And when a resident of Uxbridge told me, I came here and saw that his name wasn't even included in the World War I history for the House of Commons. So not only was one of the names in the memorial book honored with a very life-size statue, Sam Sharpe was forgotten across the country with the exception of people in Uxbridge and his regiment, now the Ontario Regiment, the regiment he founded. So we needed to right that historic omission. I don't think anyone's to blame. It's attitudes, it's the fact the building had burned down. So it's taken 100 years, but it's never too late to do the right thing.
There are a lot of kids that come through here on a daily basis. We all know that from working here. What message do you hope seeing the plaque up there will deliver to them?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the young people that come through here. It's actually, I think the people that write to me most about Sam Sharpe and Uxbridge are high school students. Sam went to Uxbridge High, and so it's something that's not forgotten. But long term, with young people walking through here, it speaks to mental injury and frankly mental health issues all around, and that people don't need to suffer in silence. It's something that we have to address as a government, whether it's for veterans, first responders, or Canadians as a whole. And so I think honoring and having this conversation is important for young people to realize that our government is willing to take that on.
And so before we go, what is the process from here, and when might we actually see that?
Well, our talks with Minister O'Regan has that this November 11th, started when the World War I ended, the first armistice to end that great war. We'd like to see him up for that. And then Minister O'Regan had a great idea, and in about 6 months this building's going to close for 10 years, loaning the plaque again to the Operational Stress Injury Clinic here in Ottawa so that it can be seen for those 10 years, but making sure we put it up before we end the celebrations commemorating World War I think is very, very important.
Well, thank you both very much. It's a great effort, and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mr. O'Toole. Thanks.